At the end of a still and silent night, I let it go of all that has gone, staring at the shadow that has long held me. Now I let it slowly fall into silence. I once wanted to turn back time, to correct every wrong step, but the path will never be reversed, and this heart no longer needs to be torn apart. This serenity comes to greet me when I accept all that has been. The past can never be changed, but tomorrow I can still move on. I weave hope into a new page, leaving behind the pain that once haunted me. Every wound becomes a foundation to build an eternal dream. This serenity comes to greet me when I accept all that has been. The past can never be changed, but tomorrow I can still move on. A new day awaits, a beautiful future is ready to be woven again. These footsteps feel heavy, following a path that's increasingly stinging. Sharp rocks and thorns stand in the way, under a sky that's slowly dimming. I once wanted to stop walking when obstacles made me tired, but I know behind the tiredness of my soul difficult journey in my heart. In the rock, blooming slowly, defying time, a very real sign that hope always reigns. Life isn't always easy, sometimes filled with tears, but there's always something beautiful in every most difficult journey in my heart. This road is still long, and that beauty will always come. Behind the smile you show, there's a pain you try to hide. You keep all the burdens to yourself in the increasingly freezing night. But look around you, you're not the only one suffering from sorrow. Open your wounded heart, don't let loneliness take over. When your heart feels broken and cracked, share your story, don't be shocked anymore. see two roads stretching silently, one filled with the thorns of the past, one filled with new warmth. The choice is now in your hands. Do you continue to embrace the pain, or let the sincere feelings wash away the pain until it is completely eroded? You can walk through time with a heartache that continues to bind, or step forward with confidence, with love that warms the soul and mind. Holds me back. I welcome the feeling that brings peace, because life is too precious if it is only filled with suffering and pain. You can walk through time with a heartache that continues to bind, or step forward with confidence, with love that warms the soul and mind. I choose this warmth, make peace, and step forward again. In the corner of a dusty cupboard, a story from the past lies hidden. A pen that is so painful makes my heart groan again. Every line carries a wound about tears and disappointment. I slowly close the dark page, let it sink into the night. Sadness is like a page of a story, once read in the dark, but now times have changed. quiet night, I let sorrow touch my heart. These tears flow slowly, washing away the wounds that have long been held in silence. I don't need to deny the pain, because my soul also needs to moan. Crying for a moment will lighten my chest, acknowledge all the pain that exists. Feel your sadness with all your soul. Let it flow as it is, but don't let the thick sorrow rob away the beauty of a captivating life. Tomorrow will come, bringing light, gently wiping away the remnants of pain. There are still many smiles to be found behind the once foggy road. Feel your sadness with all your soul. Let it flow as it is, but don't let the thick sorrow rob away the beauty of a captivating life. I feel this pain for just a moment, then I welcome the world again with joy. Staring silently at the edge of dusk, time passes. Where am I? Trying to escape from your shadow, but my steps are frozen again. I've tried everything, dispelling the silence, erasing the pause, but in the quiet corner of the night, your face appears here again. No matter how hard my feet step, going away, looking for direction. Painful memories never fade. No matter how hard my feet step, going away, looking for direction. Painful memories never fade, eternally silent in my chest. It will never go away. Stay here. When the storm comes crashing down, when smiles turn to sorrow, I see your loyal gaze still standing by my side. Walking together isn't hard when the day is filled with laughter, but our true meaning tested when the world feels empty. True love isn't just a story about happiness under the beauty of the universe, but about fingers embracing each other when the heart is wounded and hope is fading. Become a support, bringing peace amidst bitterness. True love isn't just a story about happiness under the beauty of the universe, but about fingers embracing each other when the heart is wounded and hope is fading. We love each other, healing wounds until they are whole again. Every scratch leaves a mark, making my soul feel weak. I once asked myself in the darkness, why must I be the one to feel pain? But beneath the thick, cold night, there's a small fire that still burns with confidence. This pain is a test. It comes to test the limits of endurance, forging the pain with every passing moment, changing me to become more resilient. Washes away the fragility that once reigned. There's no more fear left when facing the storm that strikes. This pain is a test. It comes to test the limits of endurance, forging every passing moment, changing me to become more resilient. I have crossed the night, becoming a soul that will never sink again. I see the scattered debris from the fragility of a soul that has long endured. Every fragment holds a feeling of pain in the increasingly groaning silence. I once lay in emptiness, thinking my steps had run out of paths. But from the deepest cracks, a long-suppressed strength awakens, a heart that was once shattered and scattered. Destroying all obstacles that stand in its way. was once shattered and scattered now stands up and begins to move, transforming into a much stronger soul, destroying obstacles that stand in its way. The path ahead is now wide open, with the determination that will never again fade in. In the deepest silence, I feel the pain that grips me more and more. The collapse of hope makes me silent, slowly sinking into the embrace of the night. I see my tired reflection, wondering how long I should give up. There's no need to rush to wipe away all the sorrow, because every feeling your fingers now feels cold. We survive only because we're used to it, going through the day without warmth, silently in the same room. I try to find the remains of a smile, but all I find is pretense. We walk on the same path, but our destinations have drifted apart. Sometimes what hurts most is forcing myself to endure in a relationship that no longer brings happiness. And to pile up disappointments, let this loneliness guide my steps, rediscovering my former soul. Sometimes what hurts most is forcing myself to endure in a relationship that no longer brings happiness. I slowly let go of this bond for the peace I've long sought. Among the pages of time that have passed, there's a story that never ends, wounds from the past, leaving pain in every beat of my heart. I once regretted everything that happened. Why do feelings have to be this complicated? But time slowly makes my soul realize that no wound is in vain. Bitter memories that once tormented me now have become valuable teachers, teaching a heart that has been wounded to love more wisely. teaching a heart that has been wounded to love more wisely. In the future that awaits, I will keep sincere love more meaningful. Behind the collapse of all dreams, don't condemn yourself to regret. Steps that stop in the middle of the road, it's not the end of a journey. You stare at the fragments that are now scattered, makes your soul silent and shocked. But let go of the burden that torments you, because this failure is not just your fault. Never blame yourself for the collapse of the dream you were looking for, because your true greatest strength still stored in this once broken heart. Of broken feelings, a shoot will grow that will not give up. This darkness will soon pass. Forge yourself into something new. Never blame yourself for the collapse of the dream you were looking for, because your true greatest strength still stored in this once broken heart. You're still there, and you will rise stronger. For so long I've been trapped in rejection, embracing the endless pain, crying over every moment that has fallen apart, in a quiet room that's getting increasingly noisy. But tonight I've decided to stop. No no longer hostile to the hurting feelings. I welcome sorrow like a friend. It comes bearing a million messages, making peace with deep sadness. Is the first step at the end of the night to heal the wounds within and rekindle a confident hope. Different beat. There's a warmth that's slowly fading from a heart that was once dead and frozen, now blossoming across time. Making peace with deep sadness is the first step at the end of the night. Heal the wounds within and rekindle a confident hope. This soul regenerates itself, welcoming tomorrow with a pure smile. When loneliness comes to visit, knocking on the door in the corner of my heart, I feel a deepening pain drowning my soul in the dark night. I know I don't need to deny my feelings. Let these tears be felt. Crying for a moment lightens the burden before I find my way back. Don't let sadness rule, locking your life in despair, but allow yourself to feel it, then step forward with renewed strength in my chest. Darkness of the night begins to fade, leaving a slowly fading trace. Every sorrow that is past becomes a solid foothold to stand on. Don't let sadness rule, locking your life in despair, but allow myself to feel it and step forward with renewed strength in my chest. I leave the pain in the past. darkest corner of the night, when the walls of your room feel like they're closing in. A heavy weight presses on your chest, as if you're collapsing helplessly. You feel like a stranger in the crowd, sink in silence and despair, but hear a soft whisper behind the silence that makes you sad. When you feel alone and depressed, remember there's a soul full of sincerity. Out there, someone is always watching over you, loving you unconditionally. Darkness extinguish your hope. You're not alone in this time. There are sincere prayers flowing, erasing every doubt that arises. When you feel alone and depressed, remember there's a soul full of sincerity. Out there, someone is always watching over you, loving you unconditionally. You are precious. Love is always there for you. Staring at the now scattered fragments under the silence that moves me. This pain is so real, forcibly erasing all laughter, but the collapse of the old space isn't the end of everything. Behind the deepest cracks, there's light at the end of the night. This broken heart is an opportunity to choose the path of growth, to become a much better person, stronger when the storm whispers, and wiser in living. forgiven. Every wound is a lesson, guiding steps full of confidence. This broken heart is an opportunity to choose the path of growth, to become a much better person, stronger when the storm whispers, and wiser in living life. I choose to grow from the remains of a heart that was once broken. Behind the curtain of a very long night, I see the light slowly disappearing. Steps feel heavy on the silent road, leaving a painful trail in my heart. I once questioned every suffering. Why does this darkness steal my happiness? But I know behind the thick feeling there is a hidden promise that will be meaningful. When your life's path feels bleak and your world seems to be sinking, always remember in your heart the heaviest rain brings the most beautiful rainbow later. Now the splash of darkness slowly subsides, leaving behind a peace that soothes my heart. Colors of hope begin to be painted vividly, wiping away tears replaced by awe in my eyes. When your life's path feels bleak and your world seems to be sinking, always remember in your heart the heaviest rain brings the most beautiful rainbow later. This darkness is over. The beauty of a smile has returned, blossoming. silently in a silent room. As the night grows colder and colder, there's an indescribable tightness, waiting for the time to say hello. Lips locked, unable to speak, containing a burning pain. But something slowly fades, bringing peace that's about to crumble. A drop falls on this cheek, flowing slowly, feeling the silence, the language of the heart hidden deep, now spoken at the end of the night. Needed to understand all the feelings that are increasingly pushed aside. When tears begin to speak, all secrets have collapsed. A drop falls on this cheek, flowing slowly, feeling the silence, the language of the heart hidden deep, now spoken at the end of the night. He speaks when words no longer mean anything. Under the dark, silent gaze, I slowly release the grip that grips me. I've been silent for too long, in a space that continues to hurt. Every second erodes hope, leaving pain in memories. But now my soul is awake, there's a new path that's starting to glow. Don't be afraid to run, leaving behind everything that breaks my heart. Because out there in the future, there's so much happiness waiting in a smile. Behind the pain that binds my steps, I won't look back even though I'm tired. Every fragment that was once broken now slowly begins to melt. Don't be afraid When the night touches a deep wound, I'm trapped in a dark silence. The pain chains my steps. It's as if time has stopped for me, but my pulse still beats softly, reminding me of a life that still perseveres. This is not the end of a story, but the beginning of the soul's awakening. This heartache will not stop me, even though I've fallen and felt tired. This is my deepest calling, to stand tall and strengthen my heart. Yesterday's wounds have made me more skilled, facing the future without any more grief. This heartache will not stop me, even though I've fallen and felt tired. This is my deepest calling, to stand tall and strengthen my heart. I will move forward, becoming stronger than before. In the silence of a lonely space, your shadow comes to greet me again. Even though your body is no longer by my side, your warmth is still felt here. Time passes, bringing change, leaving traces along the way. But what we once shared will never fade away in silence. The beauty beautiful memories we once had will live on in my heart. Even though you've gone far, your feelings are eternal and irreplaceable. Smile in my memory, becoming a comfort in times of bitterness. Every joke and laughter from the past now becomes my strength. The beautiful memories we once had irreplaceable. You've passed, but your love remains with me.